As some watching this stream may know, I used to make my living writing role-playing games and role-playing game related material. I worked for TSR. I worked for West End Games. I did a little bit of work for White Wolf, a little bit for Decipher, a little bit for Steve Jackson Games, um, a little bit for a whole bunch of little companies that I couldn't even begin to mention because I don't remember. And I was very, very bad about keeping track of what I did and for whom I did it. Um, at around 2005, I want to say 2004, somewhere in there, I started writing tax educational material for H&R Block, or an H&R Block franchise rather, not actually corporate, but a franchise, and teaching classes. And I started doing articles about tax preparation and tax theory and such. And I kind of lost touch with the game industry. When a few years after that, about 5 years after that, so 2008 or 9, 2010, I decided, yeah, I want to get back into role playing games. And I discovered that what I used to tell people when I was at conventions and just talking to would be writers, I my favorite thing to say used to be, and still is actually, it's easy to break in as a writer and an artist or whatever. It's easy to break in if you have talent and drive. It's hard to stay in. You have to keep your contacts up. You have to keep producing. You have to keep people reminding people that you matter to them, that you're important to them, and you have to remind your audience that you're out there and that they want to buy and read your stuff. Well, I left the field for 5 years, which is an eternity, and I proved to myself that I was right because uh, my contacts had moved on to computer games, and while I made a half-hearted effort to get into that field, I didn't know enough about it to really do it very well. I know a lot more about it now, but back when I was trying to get in, I knew jack all because I had not played the game, so I didn't even get the concept. So it didn't work. And I turned my vocation back into my avocation. And I was doing it just for fun. Um, a creative partner of mine, LL Hundal, as she's known, uh, thought that it would be neat if we revived NUELOW Games, which was a little thing we did in the late 80s. Um, and she had her Rolf, the role playing game of Big Dumb Fighters, that became our vehicle. And then we looked at the open game license, which brings me around to what I'm really going to be talking about here. The open game license, which looked like kind of fun. We could, and I had flirted with this earlier with the company. I think it was many years earlier. Interact called. Um, it might have been around the same time, but I'm it must have been several years earlier because it was um, pre my going off and writing educational material. Done some a product called Mind Over Matter, which actually was sort of the foundation to what followed with NUELOW Games and what I'm thinking about doing going forward. So, in bits and pieces, in NUELOW Games products, using the open game license, I kind of restructured the D20 system somewhat. Still level based, but since I'm doing a lot of adaptations of comics and fiction and movies and a lot of things inspired by fiction, where things aren't as character abilities aren't as stratified as they are in your traditional uh, D&D slash level based gaming system. Oh no. I'm just being told in the side chat that I'm choppy, which makes sense because I've been seeing little loading bars appearing across the top of the screen every so often. Well, let me see if adjusting the light will help a bit. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I think that might have made it worse. Wizards is sabotaging my live stream like they are trying to destroy everything. Isn't that the general kind of atmosphere that's floating around the hobby right now? And I have to admit, getting totally off and jumping up a little bit ahead here, totally off my thought path and what I was talking about. I'm actually kind of, a couple of days ago, I was going, the sky is falling. The sky is always falling in the role playing game business. It's always the end of everything. Day after tomorrow, we're all going to be, someone's going to come by and burn our books and won't be able to play anymore. The evil Death Star that is Hasbro will swoop down and destroy us. A couple of days ago, I was actually thinking that while from the very first time I read OGL 1.0A, I saw a very clear poison pill in there. It's in every product that I've done using OGL content and have a license in there. It's in every product. I mean, I pulled out a few and looked at the licenses that they appear in them to see whether others had done what we had done and pretty much copied it directly and exactly as you're supposed to do if you're going to be using the license. And they all have what, to me, I was going, if I was going to be a jackass and I wanted to pull the rug out of the product I didn't like, I would go after that one little sentence that is pretty close to the beginning of the license, which I'm not going to point out, but I'm pretty sure that anyone else that is nefarious, which includes, unfortunately, as far as I can tell, a good number of staff at Wizards of the Coast, they have thought of this and they see it. And I think that's the next step that's going to be coming. But last several years have had a good time as a hobbyist, but continue to take my creativity seriously. And even though Hundal was writing a very silly game for the most part, she took her creativity very seriously. And when I did things for Rolf, also, we wanted to do good game content, good playable game content. And the system I liked was the D20 system as it was manifested in things like D20 Modern and the D20 Spycraft, which predated D20 Modern, actually. And I just liked designing little widgets for D20 Modern and Spycraft and that sort of thing that modeled comics and movies and TV shows. It just seemed like the ideal plug and play framework. And as we went along, as I said, we kind of dissolved the classes. Hell, we even dissolved classes to the point where one of the posts on the blog, and I say we because I don't recall whether it was purely something I came up with or whether it was a conversation with Hundal, since she's the one that pointed out to me the god-awful Cuties thing that was on Netflix or somewhere. And it started as a mockery of that and then evolved into sort of an echo of if anybody remembers, many, many years ago, Jim Ward's Greyhawk Adventures, I think it was a hardback. They did 0-level characters where you could make a character and kind of train them up to first level. It's a little bit like that. I think I actually don't have a copy of Greyhawk Adventures, haven't looked at that in many, many years, since at least the early 90s. But it seemed to me that this was similar to that, where basically you're making a 0-level character, and as you are leveling up this character in pre-levels, you essentially are getting it to the point where you have the starting feats, you have the starting skill attributes. You now can qualify for a first level D20 modern character class. And even more specifically, you would be qualifying for a single D20 modern style character class, which is something that also was cooked up and put on the blog as part of the whole we're reinventing the D20 system and making classes unimportant, and instead you are shaping your character using powers generated through feats and talent trees and some sort of mixing and matching all these various things to come up with your character's abilities. Never did get to the point of finishing that whole process, even though it is probably about, I want to say, if we would, right now it exists in a very messy state. It's probably about 75% done, I want to say. That's assuming that it could still be produced under OGL 1.0A. And in the last day, I've come to the conclusion that doing that would be a tremendous waste of time. Experience-based skill ability development sounds interesting. Yes, that's pretty much exactly what it is. And the level-based spellcasting system also is, and sort of psionics abilities are also pretty much broken down, and you can build up your spellcasting abilities. There's like 3 different methods we've introduced over the last few years, where you can build up your spellcasting or psionic powers or just superpowers as slowly or as fast as seems to fit your character concept, and you can mix them as seems to fit your character concept. So you can have a guy that, for example, could cast 0 and first level spells, wizard spells, I don't know, but can also shapeshift like you wouldn't, just amazing shapeshifter. That's what he spent. You basically, the system is you get a feat, and that feat unlocks superpower talent trees, and then these talent trees is where you build up your powers or whatever. And same thing, you could do it with class a bit, with what should be specific class abilities. You just put them in a talent tree, and there you go. And with the SRD, it was actually relatively simple to finish building this game that we've been slowly evolving over the years. Slowly evolving because, again, I was writing to make ends meet in other fields, and then unfortunately I ran into some health issues, and I had to get a real job that had health benefits and everything else that comes with it, because otherwise I would have been one of those many people down the hill from where I work, living in some homeless camp. That was not something I wanted to do, or I would have been actually, I would have been dead, frankly, because last year I racked up literally 100, and I think final tally was $128,000 in medical bills. And if I hadn't been at my current job, I probably would have died even before that happened. But even with those medical bills, it would have just, no point in carrying on if you got that kind of load on your back and you're a self-employed anything. Because I went down that road about 2012, 2013, and it was a horrible hole to dig myself out of. As I said, I had some health issues. Had to get the real job, or it would have been the end. So it's been a part-time thing for a number of years. So the game has just been, and it's been really part time for Hundal. She's family stuff, career stuff, just has more of a life than I do. So she's been doing even more of even less with game design and writing than in the past. All of her was always just a sideline and something she did for fun. So it's mostly been me doing NUELOW Games, and if for the 2 dozen people or so that are loyal followers, thank you. I love you all. If I knew who you were, I'd send you Christmas cards or give you something free each Christmas. Which does remind me there was a list of some people that I was giving things free to because they were very generous during my very hard times. And that list, unfortunately, when one bookshelf did some upgrades and I shifted into a new computer, I lost that list. And it's only like 3 or 4 people that I know personally, so I still had contact with them. So if I should be giving you free stuff when every time there's a new NUELOW Games release, please get in touch because I really would like to continue to honor what I said I would do. I just don't have your information anymore, so I can't, um, which is very embarrassing for me. But long and short of it is, I am leaning toward just stopping everything as far as products, including the open game license, and taking the time and effort to rewrite uh, borrowed elements, file off the serial numbers, because it is a basic fact that raw systems cannot be copyrighted. You could potentially patent them or trademark them, but you cannot copyright them. So if you want to put Magic Missile in a game, um, call it Force Bolt or Death Arrow or something like that. And it can still do 1d6 points of damage per level or 1d4 points of damage, depending on which system you're using. And you can pretty much do that with every single bit of the SRD, which is probably something that I will find myself having to do because, as I said, I think the next step when people revolt against this 1.1 thing and they just ignore it and they follow the advice of a number of attorneys that I've seen comment on it that have said they don't think that, despite the language that Wizards can update this anytime, they don't think that the 1.0a license and everything related to it can be, wiped out by Wizards of the Coast by just declaring that that is no longer an authorized license. But I still think there is a way that they can put an end to all of these products or put an end to the platforms through which we are selling them. And that's really my main concern is that anything new that I try to make and that's on one bookshelf and that has the open game license in the back, it it can just be uh, you know, shot through the head through this method that I don't. Again, I'm not an attorney, so maybe I'm missing something about this, but I don't see a way around um, the brilliant little trick that has been there from the moment that the license was released. Um, so, but like Gr said, I think the experience slash skill based ability development is a neat way of approaching it, and that actually is the center of the sort of reinvented D20 system that we've been cooking up. So probably for the, again, 2 dozen people out there that actually buy the NUELOW Games products, you might be seeing less uh, overt um, open game content in there. For example, I'm almost done with a product called the Three Graces, which again, it's not going to be appeal to a huge amount of people out there, but I think it's a neat little item. Takes three Greek minor Greek goddesses and gives some game rules for it. They bless parties and creative endeavors, and so it gives some game rules for either be a priest of them, or you have some high, you put a lot of skill points into um, your more social skills or craft skills and knowledge skills, and then you can start getting actually some other powers and abilities from these little goddesses that are rewarding you. And my favorite part of this, as I was cooking this up, is once the Greek gods left uh, the world, a lot of the NUELOW Games products, for those of you that have read them and paid attention, there's a kind of a thread running through them. And this thread is that in ancient times, there was a god, there was a war between all these supernatural forces and some alien forces. They drove them off the planet. Atlantis fell, the gods left. And when the gods left, the gods sort of, the three graces said, hey, we'll stay behind and help out the mortals. And Hades said, well, you guys can have my old underworld, and you can operate out of there. So they turned the underworld into sort of an eternal artist colony where um, writers and artists and inventors and architects and all these people at the height of their creative powers, they exist. And so they can keep creating there until they feel they've run out of things to create, and then they can go join the ether or get reincarnated or whatever. Which of course ties back into Houseboat on the River Styx, which is something that we have about maybe half a dozen products that tie into. Um, so this little product ties all kinds of things together, and it's going to be finished without probably the OGL logo on it. And I'm sorry, I saw the comment over there that Nick made, but I was busy rambling. Nick wants to get back into RBGs. I'm hoping he meant RPGs, although Surrender Monkey did say that, Nick, you should leave the really big girls alone. Um, well, I mean, maybe. I mean, maybe they don't want to be left alone. You should ask nicely, and no means no, and all that stuff. Um, but yeah, so Three Graces, I have to redesign the cover, because if uh, anyone that is over on my Facebook page, it's a month ago I put up what I thought was a very nice cover design, and central to that cover design is the logo that we've been using for several years, and that says it's 3.5 compatible, OGL, and then 3.5 compatible. Well, got to get rid of that. I guess the good news is that now there'll be room for me to put my name on the cover, which I didn't have originally. Yes, Surrender Monkey. Nick is almost certainly a charmer. Yeah. Yeah, the side chat did take an odd turn there, Dave. Again, I'm hoping that Nick just made a typo. But and if he didn't make a typo, I guess I can plug, if he wants to get back into both RBGs and RPGs, if he goes and grabs a couple of NUELOW Games products. There is, oh, what was it called? It's actually ended up being one of our best-selling products, which Hundal hated. Um, oh my gosh. Oh, Feats of Adult and something or other. It was a joke product. It was intended to be a sarcastic commentary on, at least for a while there was and when we were growing up and into the 90s and into the early 2000s, there was a lot of gamers that were into sexualized role-playing stuff. And this particular little product, oh my gosh, I forget what it's called. It was Feats of something, something and something. And it contained rules for adult gaming. And it was just pure sarcasm from beginning to end and pure poking fun at that whole concept. But since, as I said, we've always wanted to, even though we were doing sarcastic products and making fun of gaming and gamers, we wanted still to have rules that were real rules that were playable. So it's a solid product, even though it's goofy, but it also became our best-selling product because of the title, I suspect. God damn. I'm sorry, guys. I need to look this up because let's see here, because it's bugging me now. And there was a second one we did that was a bit toned down and a little more useful. It was intended more for the sort of James Bondian kind of activity and seduction, sort of smooth operator kind of character. Let's see. And actually, Rolf, the Lynx's primary project, Hundal's primary project. Ah, there it is. Actually, right now, as I'm speaking, our current 5th best-selling title for NUELOW Games is Modern Basics: Feats of an Adult Nature. Okay, that was the title of the product. Feats of an Adult Nature was the product, and it. Let's see when. So the revised version was released in. Let's see when the revised version was released in 2013. So it's a 10-year-old product, and every year it has been one of our best sellers. And just to show that, excuse me, people, how successful we are, after 10 years of being our top selling product year in, year out, it's an Electrum bestseller. So we haven't actually ever exactly set the gaming world on fire. Think they'll know these? Yep, knows those kind of games. In England, they were drinking games with cards. Well, yeah, yes and no. Although there is, I believe, in Feats of an Adult Nature, that there actually are some skills related to playing strip poker. So yeah, that's the level of class that there is in this product. But it was very popular. And then there was a toned down version of it that was called, here it is, Feats of, let's see, Feats of Seduction and Subterfuge. As I said, that was sort of intended to be James Bondian sort of product. And it actually, because Hundal was so embarrassed by the other product doing so well, this was intended to essentially replace that. It didn't. The other one still sold better. And so, being the jerk that I am, I kept it up. And every year I would remind her, hey, guess what the best selling product is this year? But regardless, all those sorts of things would essentially be folded into. Basically, Modern Basics was that was a series of products that were uh, just feats and talents and reinvention of the magic system for D&D. I think the one where I think the best reinvention of the magic system that we did, and this is again where we'll be able to strip out the D&D spells, is in a product called Feats of Mysticism and Magic, which takes away levels in spellcasting, and even more. And there's some other things that we've done in the Three Lives of Phantoma, which is one of our comic book / gaming hybrid products. And I think there's a jungle well, that reprints some of the Phantoma stuff, but there's several little booklets where we've monkeyed with the magic system. But Feats of Mysticism and Magic, if I recall, that might be the key to just get rid of the magic system entirely, not having to rename Magic Missile into something else. And RPG as a RBG. Yeah. and yes, this has turned into the stream of feats of an adult nature, I suppose. Maybe with the new YouTube morality, we're going to be in big trouble. Although I haven't dropped any swear words yet, so we should be fine. Surrender Monkey, very interchangeable with a roulette wheel and drink picks on a card job. Yeah, okay. Excuse me. Speaking of drinking, chocolate almond milk, vanilla flavored almond milk, and Tito's vodka. Yum. Yes, I'm drinking on a Monday night. That's how upset I am about this open gaming stuff. Well, no, not real. I just noticed that the Tito's bottle was almost empty. Surrender Monkey, that's never anything you have to apologize for. In fact, the last few days at work, I've had to be very careful because I have not been working with my normal partner, and we both have off-color sensitive humor and mouths like sailors, and I don't know the people I've been working with the last few days, and so it's been a struggle to keep myself in check. So no, by all means. And if anyone else feels put out, just let me know. Is there a private message thing in YouTube? I have no idea, but it's okay. We're all adults here, I hope. Dave asked, do I feel there's been a bit of a resurgence in the RPG market? To be honest, I don't know. From my perspective, it certainly is more mainstream than it's ever been. I mean, I see it all over YouTube, not just because of some of the channels I like, but or some of the people I follow, but it's a lot more mainstream than it was in the 80s or 90s, or even in the 2000s. So yeah, as far as that goes, probably was a resurgence. I have not bought a role-playing game product, with the exception of some PDFs from friends and acquaintances, since 2002, 2003. I mean, I as a consumer have completely lost touch with the role-playing game industry. And as a fan, I have also completely lost touch because around 2013, 2014, when I was going through my financial troubles, there was an uptick in blather about evil old white guys and how everything was sexist and racist in the old role-playing games. that has continued on through to modern day, to the point where Wizards of the Coast started labeling products that I'd worked on as racist and homophobic and all sorts of things, which pissed me off to no end, because a couple of those, if you read them, you will find that there's things in there that we snuck past our editors that were in straight up against the TSR code of ethics. For example, you know, oh no, don't make any reference to gay people. That's a very bad thing. Well, there is a certain Dark Lord that is very obviously homosexual in a couple of the products. If people have read it and paid attention, they will very easily be able to identify that. And it's in there, it's blatant, and yet we were homophobic, sexist, racist bastards that had to have our products labeled as such because, oh, we're so offensive in what we were doing. So there was a series of things that just made me turn my back on fan community in general, because I realized that even though I had thought myself a fan and I had been playing a role playing game since the late 80s or mid 80s, I worked on them for a decade and a half professionally. I had never really been part of the community I thought I was part of, because the community was telling me that I was a disgusting, vile human being. So I'm if a club doesn't want me in it, I'm not going to try to be in it. So I will admit, I've completely lost touch with the modern business. So this game that I want to do is probably going to be put out there, and it's totally going to bomb because no one's going to want to get it because I am completely out of touch. Okay, let's see here. Oh, Exil Master, what are you booing at? What are you booing at? Let us know. Um, all right, Surrender Monkey. My little sister is a massive board game fan. Haven't seen her in over a decade. I'd love to get inside info on a brilliant game and send it to her in New Zealand. Um, oh God, every New Year's and every Labor Day. I keep getting Labor Day and Memorial Day confused. I'm a fake American. I didn't grow up in the States. I grew up mostly overseas. So American holidays are a bit messed up for me. So it's either every Labor Day or Memorial Day, whichever one it is. I think it's Labor Day and New Year's Eve. A bunch of game designers, old time game designers, get together and we play board games. And this New Year's Eve, um, God, there was a board game that was really cool that I would suggest. Ticket to Ride is always a good one. That's an old style classic. I'm sure your sister knows of that. But I'll think about it. I'll make a community post about this board game that I'm trying to remember. Ticket to Ride London. Don't bother. It's it's not bad, but it's also not good. If you like Ticket to Ride, if you want something that goes a little quicker, play it. But other than that, no, it's no good. Um, it's after 2 a.m. I'm awake and I'm high, same old, same old. Okay, well, that's good, GR. Surrender Monkey, you're British. Okay. No, I mean, RPG was not a military term, ZXL, although that's probably why I'm on all kinds of watch lists, I'm pretty sure, because of my Google searches and my posts and things over the years. I'm surprised I haven't gotten more knocks on my front door, frankly, or when I've had jobs that required background checks that there haven't been hiccups. Let's see. Platoon hard drive, PhD. I'm behind. Sorry if you answered this, but with writing, what draws you to it? The mechanics or the storytelling? Both, actually. Although, frankly, the storytelling is really where I'm at, but I think the mechanics can and should support the storytelling. Um, Basically, a lot of times I look at the mechanics, I think, well, okay, you got the base mechanics. You need to have the way to make a character. Um, but you're making the character, at least to me, the ideal role playing game is when you're making your character, you have this character's story in mind. You have the sort of story this character will experience and will be in. So the creation itself should be dry. The creation system of in a role playing game should, to some extent, um, create story opportunity, but then the mechanics should um, give even more opportunity for that. That's why I love adapting comics and movies and such into role playing games, because I like being able to say, okay, here is a rule or a mechanic that does the story, that brings a story to your table, into your character. So I think they go hand in hand, actually. But if you put me in a corner and said, you will decide, are you a mechanic or are you a storyteller? I'm I'm a storyteller. I mean, I'm mostly interested in the story. Um, and let's see what else. I'm trying to keep eye on the side chat and talk to you guys because I really appreciate it when someone shows up, so I'm not just sitting here, yakking to myself. Um, and the Surrender Monkey, he's British. Then you would be over there. And what is it? Is it 11 o'clock in the morning over there right now, or is it evening? I've lost track. I've been here. I've been back in the States for entirely too long. I've lost lost my sense of which way the clock goes. Um, it's after 2 a.m. Yeah, I'm on the West Coast, so it's only 12:30 here. And PhD message retracted. Oh, okay, I missed that. My. Um. Okay, so it is morning. All right. Surrender Monkey has told me that it's 8:26 in the morning. So, yeah. Okay. So I was just a few hours off. Um, and Austin Murphy. Now I know that those are clapping hands, which I didn't realize last time someone put them up there. But actually, because they're on a black background now, they're easier for me to see what they are. But yes, let's see. Short focus pocus. Oh, is that one of your summaries of a YouTube channel, XL or ZXL? Those are pretty good. Those are pretty good. Platoon Hard Drive, Steve, you are unique. You are an interesting, unique dude. I enjoyed your style, man. Well, thank you, Platoon Hard Drive. I appreciate that. Um, I hope I gave you a sensible answer to your question, because that actually is that's always been a hard one for me to answer. Um, and let's see. I'm awake and hi, same old, same old. All the cool kids have insomnia. That is true. I probably have a little bit of it because I drink way too much coffee. Except I'm really trying not to do that after about 8 o'clock at night. So hopefully I'll be getting a little better. Thinking sales of the Unholy 3 and OGL Trickery. Oh, ah, actually, that is not. So something your eye says, I'm thinking sales of the Unholy 3 and OGL Trickery might just go up for the irony. That is actually one of my favorites, just because of the comic it adapts and the just the mechanics that are in there. It the comics that are featured, they're from an obscure publisher that just the style of their stuff just appealed to both me and Hundal, me more than her really, just because of the oddity of it all. And it's mostly forgotten stuff, with a lot of characters that no one remembers, but they all have this. Um, a lot of this sort of superhero stories, they have this darkness to them, little twisted. Even though they're very humorous and very cute, there's still this little bit of twist to it. And the Unholy 3, and at the time we did this product, I actually did not know that. But the Unholy Three is a kind of sort of adaptation slash spoof of a couple of thrillers, respectively from the early 20s and early 30s, with Lon Chaney in them. And it is a guy, a gal, and a monkey or a midget or something in both of them. And the Unholy Three is a takeoff on that. They were only featured, I believe, in 2 stories in the original comics, but um, they're basically trickster kind of characters, um, and or con artists. And so the game rules in there are designed to well, trickery and fool people. It's for roguish kind of characters. And all the cool kids are here, all 10 of us. Yeah. Wow, we got up as high as 10. That's a record for one of these streams. So thank you to everybody that has shown up. But actually, hey, it would be great if the Unholy Three suddenly. Maybe I should go plug that and make that. But yeah, because that's what was his Chesler Comics, guy who named Harry Chesler, actually Harry A. Chesler, but he just added the A in the middle because he thought it was cool. And yeah, there's actually one of the ones that's in the works and that is going to be finished as it was intended, even if I do boot the game license out of the back. The Enchanted Dagger, that's probably going to be coming out before the Three Graces, since I'm going to have to go in and do some little bit of rejiggering on Three Graces. But the Enchanted Dagger, I believe, can be put out without any need for changes. The page or so of actual game material in there and the adventure seeds in there are going to be non-system and pretty much 3.5 D/E20 system compatible, but that's not really going to be admitted to anywhere because, well, I'm certain that Wizards is smart enough to have seen the poison pill that is right there in the game, in the OGL 1.0A, and I just don't want to put that in any more booklets than I have to, at least until I understand fully what their objective and their agenda is. Let's see. Platoon hard drive PhD. You know what? Your name's ringing a bell, but I don't know that I've been to your. I don't know that I've ever. Oh, were you on Merb's channel? Is that where I've come across you? Because I'm clearly not one of the because yeah, I'm sitting here. I really can't remember. But if you've that's something else because I've been out of the aside from just a little circle of gamer friends that I've had for decades. Um, I I've mostly lost touch with gaming and the game industry, so it's hard for me to tell which vector people are finding my little channel from. It's probably mostly from the Chilito angle than anything else, I would imagine. 50 hours of watch time on, and you're doing all shorts, right? ZXL? That's actually pretty damn impressive. Let's see. Be careful now. You might spell Steven wrong. No monkey slurs. Merb is a cool kid too. Yeah. Oh, speaking of Merb, I did I did watch the whole debate between him and formerly legalized drugs. And, oh my gosh. Merb was Merb, but I don't think either one of them came off looking all that great. um, the Kate Peter wrap up was sort of the high point of the whole exchange. Even though I did think Merb had invariably the more accurate points, but I don't know enough about it really. So even when Stephen, your name is Stephen according to your mom. Is that only when she's mad at you, or always? That they have done some videos together. Coded friends. Oh, the debate between Merb and what is this? Destroy Fraudsters, whatever his new name is. Yeah, it got a little painful there at times. I'm biased. Okay, Platoon hard drive. I'm biased since I really dig Merb, but I don't know that either one of us would agree that he's cool. Value added in a big way, but cool might be a stretch. Okay. Oh, I don't know. I, for one, absolutely love his just easy sarcasm. But yeah, cool. Maybe. Yeah. Cool might not be the word for it for him. Sorry, that didn't sound right. Might not be. But yeah, for those who might be watching this down the road or watching this now that have are in on the whole OGL panic. I bought into the panic, and so I am having to rethink some things. But at least it's getting me to think about completing this game that's been in development for almost a decade now. Yeah, GR, I'm with you. I get a kick out of Merb. I like him mostly when he's doing the shorter things, and well, maybe I like him because a lot of his analysis kind of falls into where I'm going, okay, yeah, that matches my understanding as a layman, and why it is that I get so irritated at the folks that go in and just try to antagonize the poor workers at the post office or behind the counter at the police station. Let's see. Merb ignores Surrender Monkey. Well, at least he always gives me a little heart when I comment over on his channel. But I think he gives a heart to everybody that comments on his channel, whether they're saying dumb things or not. Since I know I always say something dumb whenever I comment over there. But yeah, I'll have to go check out if I haven't Platoon Hard Drive's channel just to see whether it's because I'm sorry if I haven't. But I am pretty much at an end of just things to talk about off the top of my head. So unless someone has some other topic they want to bring up, we may have to start to wind this thing down. And I guess this is the point where I say, hey, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, now is the time to do it. And make sure you push that like button. Yeah, push that like button. Go ahead, swipe it down, push the like button. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, there was a cat toy from the other stream the other night. Anything I can wave at you guys that people would find interesting? Oh, I can get myself in trouble. I can talk about this. It's Mohammed cartoons and tweet quotes from people wishing death on the guy. Um, no, I don't think I want to see my channel there. Oh yes. Oh my God. I uh, I did say that wrong. I am absolutely mortified. Um, I blame my upbringing. It's all those other languages other than English I spoke. I should have said like button. Yes, hit the like button. I subscribe for the catchphrase at the end. Yeah, that started out completely by accident, and then I just kind of kept with it. Um, but hey, if that's what you're here for, that will make sure you stick around. And well, I guess you come around the time you think I'm going to be done anyway, and so that way you don't have to sit through everything. Smart man, very smart man. The retracted was something I sent, so I accidentally hit this, so I deleted it. Okay. Um, just as long as I didn't, miss something that would have hurt my fifis. No, I get very dumb when I start running out of things to talk about because I don't know how to end these things. Eventually, I do enough YouTubing, and I will probably come up with a graceful way to just say, "All right, we're done." So far, though, I haven't, other than I just start pushing the end stream buttons. But yeah, that's something to go do. Check out XZL Master's latest short. Maybe get him to uh, do a little thing promoting your channels because they're pretty nice. But yeah. Anyhow, let's see. Did I talk about everything I said I was going to talk about? That's something else I really should look at because I don't know. I named this channel something or this stream something. Did I talk about everything? Let's take a look. Is there a topic I mentioned I did not cover? Because I noticed that another one of these I did. I said, "Oh, I'm going to talk about X," and I never actually did talk about X in the particular thing because this is all very much off the cuff. Nope, I talked about RPGs, I talked about NUELOW Games, and I talked about what I've been doing design-wise over the past decade or so. So yeah, I actually hit all the topics I was going to talk about. If nothing else, we can talk about Bela Lugosi and Ed Wood, and who I forget the name of the guy, professional wrestler guy, which is embarrassing, but there you go. This one has picture in picture. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. Oh, wait, maybe I can. Let me see. Ah! Wait, let me do this. You'll hear music in a second, then it'll start echoing insane. I appreciate the insight. Platoon Hard Drive said, I appreciate the insight, Steve. I like writing, and sometimes the mechanics are what I dig. It's soothing to get into the mechanics, the process, especially when the larger story isn't coming to me. Actually, the one reason why I like designing for the D20 system, and actually the D6 system as well, they're easy games to get an overview of. And so it is nice to sort of know that if you tweak this over here, it's going to have that impact over here. And so to me, at least, that I find that enjoyable. Um, but yeah, if you're writing an adventure and you're stuck, thinking of some mechanical widget that can is also a good way to shake it loose. Although in recent years, the way I've done it is I've just thrown everything on random charts. There's I think We did a product that had like I think a dozen murder mysteries in it that were basically you random generate the plot for your murder mystery. That way the players won't know what your adventure is, and you can fill in some of the blanks in the middle. Um, and a lot of the products have had randomly generated stories in them just because I've been throwing every plot element I could think of onto these lists when I've actually been stuck on. A couple of them actually were outlines I was stuck on, since some of the things I've done to make money, I've written outlines for other people's novels. Um, there are novels out there that um, the basic story is mine and someone else has actually written them, which is fine. I don't do novels. The stoner vet community is well represented here tonight. Okay, that's good. And Dave says, would you consider doing how-tos on the development process from coming up with a bad idea all the way to selling the complete process? Um, Actually, that could be interesting. I can try that. It would probably fall under the those who can't do teach heading, because as a independent producer, my success is not great. I have, as I said, and I've said jokingly and not so jokingly because it actually is true. NUELOW Games, we number our sales in the dozens uh, because that's how successful our products are. Uh, so yeah, while I have worked on things that have done quite well for critically and some of them sales wise too, for like as I mentioned before, Wizards of the Coast, TSR, White Wolf, West End Games. It's been other people that I've been hired by and that I've worked for that the successes have been found. So, um, but actually, I'm gonna have to make a note of that, GR. So, not was it GR that said that? Dave. Let's make a note of that, Dave. Sorry. Um, Actually, even better. There's a I don't I don't know if this came up on one of the streams one night, but there's a friend of mine. His name is Stan. His channel is called Stanex. That's STA or the Stanex, I believe. STANNEX. Maybe there's two X's there, but it's the Stanex. And we've been trying to come up with an idea for what we could possibly do as a joint stream. Um, that might be actually something to talk about because Stan has had some success as an independent producer, and we have worked together on projects, including the early stages of developing things and taking them from beginning to finished. Um, Stan was even in the position of being creative director on one of them, I believe. So yeah, I will have to touch base with Stan. So thank you, Dave. Uh, I think you have just given us the key to our joint little YouTube broadcast thingy. And Platoon Hard Drive. It's okay if you don't know me, Steve, but I like your stuff. Usually more of a lurker, though. Okay, I appreciate that. There's channels that actually I watch. I've never commented on, but uh, yeah, I will definitely. But like I said, I'll have to go check out your channel because I don't. I no seriously. Am I right though? Did you do a debate with Merv or something? Because I swear I recognize your name from somewhere. Um, Let me just take a quick look at XL's little Hocus Pocus video. Oh, that's an interest. So this is a news channel, basically. It looks like. Okay, cool. All right. Platoon hard drive. Other people have looked you up. Stoned vet, everyone is smarter than me. What to tell insecure, stupid people? Ah, yes, apparently that is where I saw you referenced. It was on Merv's channel. I will have to check out your stuff. I didn't actually watch the thing you guys did together. I saw that it was happening, and I only actually the only reason I even watched the one with what's his name, a video, the guy whose name I can't remember, um, who was debating Merv, and they both looked. He looked dumb. Merv looked smug, and neither came off very good. But only reason I watched that was it was background noise, and I was working on something else. Um, but yeah, stoned vet. I find that actually hilarious. All right, what brought you to making videos about chili? Well, I him being a complete asshole. There's no other really way to put it. He, I first came across him and his crap on Law Talk with Mike. It's a channel. My favorite background static at work is sort of court YouTube videos. Mostly this guy up in Michigan or Minnesota or somewhere, some small town up there. Judge knows everybody, and the cases are banal enough that they're funny. And they're just everyone there just seems to be interesting people. It's like almost like a little soap opera. But Law Talk with Mike, that's also good background static. And he did something on chili dough. And I thought, what a dumbass. And then I forgot about him. And then I was watching, forgot how I ended up watching some of Masshole Report. And they were doing a Chilito video. And then suddenly he's suing them. He's suing them for slander or some such thing. Basically, he's doing your standard slap nonsense. And I cannot stand people who want to silence others. That I don't have a lot of hot buttons, but that is a hot button. If you want to try to trick me into buying your product, create a boycott, and I will watch your movie. I have regretted watching several movies because I heard it was being boycotted. So all right, I'll go support it. And that's how I ended up making videos about chili dough, because I was so annoyed at him, claiming to be some sort of civil rights activist and a constitutional scholar and all these things, when all he really is just a malignant narcissist with low self-esteem, relatively little intelligence, and even less creativity. And he doesn't even believe in his own nonsense. He can't even stand by his own words. He was doing all these live streams. He was deleting them. And I just can't stand that kind of behavior. So I started doing Chilito videos. I haven't done any of them in a while because he hasn't done anything that really has made me feel like I want to comment. Plus, he's never sued me. I'm still waiting for my promised lawsuit. That was another reason why I was doing them, because he had that goddamn stupid thing he said about, if you subscribe to the Masshole Report, if you're a paying member of the Masshole Report, I'm suing you. I went and joined the Masshole Report as a paying subscriber because of that. It's the only channel, in fact, that I am a paying subscriber of. And it's just because he was gonna, RICO everybody or something. And I still have not gotten any lawsuits. I got a fan mail from him. I got a fan letter. If you saw me reading my fan letter, made my Christmas. Let's see. Surrender Monkey. He is a paid sub of Masshole and Law Talk with Mike. Uh, you are a rich man, my friend. Um, when I become one of the cool kids, I hopefully you'll throw some of that money my way and subscribe to my channel. His fingers are sinister. Um, I hope you are referring to Chili and not my fingers, because although I guess they are kind of sinister. Uh, but yeah, Platoon. That's where I recognize your name from, and I'm seeing you over here. You did a promo of that, and oh, that was yesterday. It was yesterday. You're on his channel. Yeah. Okay. Then I was at work up to my armpits in dumb people. So um, not my partner de jour, just the whole situation. But I will have to go and watch that at some point. Since you were kind enough to come here and hang out, I appreciate that. But yeah, so that's the basic answer to what brought me to making videos about Chili. It was just he's a jackass. His actions pushed my hot buttons, and I just had to comment, um, especially since he's a kind of pathetic human being that can't stand criticism, even from pointless little fleas like yours truly. I, for God's sakes, the guy has blocked me on Twitter, even though I've never commented on any of his Twitter. The only reason I know I'm blocked is somebody said something about a Twitter post, and I said, "Oh, I should go look at this," and it came up that I was blocked. So if okay, let's see, Dave King. If you do the how to, you could make an RPG called Cyrex versus the Soap Monster. Oh, I don't know. That guy, that guy Cyrex. The clips I've seen on Mass Hole Report, I feel so sorry for that guy. Um, I he actually plays into my lack of self-esteem because I watch that and I go, "Oh my God, is that me?" I know that I don't. I'm I am not good at this. I don't necessarily try to be good at this. I do it just for the hell of it. But Cyrax, when he's singing or dancing, whatever it is he's trying to do, I'm going, oh, it might be too subtle, Dave. I might be missing the joke. I'm just it's late and I'm tired. I should not do this this late, but the problem is I work weird hours, and so this is actually a convenient time for me. Maria de Castro, he's wrong even when he isn't. Yeah, Cyrex versus the Soap Monster. Um, Actually, Cyrex is a reference to something as well, isn't it? Um, Computer game, I think, or something. I've seen someone make an explanation of it, and it's just something I wasn't familiar with. Um, I can tell all sorts of stuff about cartoons from companies no one's ever heard of. I can tell you all sorts of stuff about uh, obscure Robert E. Howard stories. I can tell you all sorts of stuff about comic books no one has remembered for 40 years, 50 years. But more contemporary pop culture things, um, like where Cyrex comes from. It is a computer game of some sort, right? Or a manga. But yes, he is low hanging fruit. It feels like punching down. Character in Mortal Kombat. Okay. Yeah, I couldn't name a single one of those guys. I recognize them. You know, there's the girl with the short skirt and the thing in her hair. There's the guy that's dressed like a ninja in blue and black. There's a bald headed weirdo with the snake arms. I think that's Mortal Kombat. But I can name Mario and Luigi. I can tell them apart. um, and I do know that. Oh my God. I just blanked. Never mind. I was going to make a reference, and now I'm forgetting the name of the characters. Platoon Hard Drive says, I agree about Cyrax. It's like fist fighting a child. Not that anyone should do that, but if it ever comes up that you need to fight a kid, it would be the same thing as making fun of Cyrax. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I really. Uh, but it plays a little bit into the whole philosophy that if you let the trolls see you sweat, or the people that are trying to pick on you, you see if they see you angry, they see you upset, you only invite more. It's the same philosophy that if someone says, I am offended by this or that you've said, and you don't feel genuine about that, oh yeah, that was a wrong thing to say, and you apologize, you're just inviting more of the same. So um someone's going to think I'm serious about, well, this guy, because when I'm sitting here, I have very little sense of humor. I mean, as far as picking up on what's going on over here, because I'm trying to be on stage and to pay attention, even though, like I said, I'm not brilliant at this. I'm Cyrax. Hey, I'm going to start singing any moment now. I only have PS5 and 4. Happy to add anyone in chat because we rock. I don't even have a PlayStation. Wait, I think I do actually. No, no, I don't. No. Um, I hope people know I'm joking. I don't fight kids, only women. Well, oh, now okay. Now I've read the whole thing. Now I see Now I see the comments. Um, well, yeah. Now I'm not going to make the joke I was going to make, because that would be really inappropriate. Um, yeah, yeah. Well, when I get around, when I finally finish cleaning up all these boxes in here, there will be a dance floor behind me, and I can dance and sing. I will put both Cyrex and Mini Midget out of business. Out of business. No, not Mini Midget. Midget. Oh, the guy. He was on Kate's channel. He sings, and I yeah, something midget. I will dance like Cyrax and I'll sing like him, and I will go viral. Actually, people will sue me and uh, send the police to break down my door. I'll be swatted if I do that. Um, Platoon Hard Drive. I've done a couple things with Merb and talked them offline a bit, so that's probably where you've heard the name. Yeah, I think people have made reference to you, and I see that again. I see you had the promo for your debate you put up yesterday. You'll be on his channel at 4 o'clock yesterday, I guess. 4 o'clock Eastern. So that was 11 in the morning. So, if I'd known what was happened, I could have checked it out. But hopefully it's recorded. It's going to be up on someone's channel for me to watch again. Uh, actually, Dance Steve Dance. I'm going to make a note of that. That should be a title of a product. I wish I could. Surrender Monkey. I wish I could dance like I was demented. Um, I'd say that the solution is to dance like nobody's watching, but I'm not sure that that's actually the case when it comes to some of the stuff I see people do. The live stream I did with Merb yesterday was an after action report. Oh, Okay, that'll be even more interesting. All right, I'm sold. I if it's up on either your channel, Merb's channel, I think that's going to be my when if things get slow tomorrow and I'm at my desk without much going on, I will be I'll be watching this after action report just to see whether what other people's take on it is, especially from person who was involved with it. Oh, what's this? Having two screens can be bad for my uh, ADHD. I don't have ADHD. I'm just sometimes I have squirrel syndrome. Sylvester Stallone says Tulsa King could mark the last time he acts in his own projects. This might be my swan song. Well, he is getting up there. He probably has all the money he can spend. So, yeah. Haven't seen it. Don't know if it's any good or not. So, I'm too cheap to have too many pay channels. I already have Disney Plus and Amazon Prime. And that's about the extent of the budget I'm willing to devote to channels that I hardly ever watch because I'm watching YouTube videos or NCIS programs, or the FBI shows. I guess I watch more network TV than any other pay channels. Yeah, now I'm musing about what I watch on TV. Uh, Actually, I'm going to be watching the new Endeavor films that have shown up on Amazon Prime. I guess if you watch PBS, you have already seen them, but they're new to me because I haven't watched PBS in years. That's because I watch my TV watching happens basically online. So, but yes, when I finish cleaning up the office and get all those boxes emptied and put away, there will be a dance floor and I will dance. Oh, maybe that'll be. No, I don't know how many subscribers I have right now. Maybe I should look at that. Because isn't that how you get subscribers? You say, if I get X subscribers, I will do Y. All right, I'm at 315 right now. Huh. Oh man, no, I better not. Let's see. It wasn't the best vid. There are better ones to watch. Referring to the after action report, Surrender Monkey, or something else. But yes, if I get to 500 subscribers by my birthday, I will dance live on YouTube. How about that? I'll have to do a community post about that. Oh, yeah. That's actually something I can say that I'm not going to, I know that I'm not going to regret saying because this number right now, 315, 300 of that was, or 250 of that was a total fluke. It was the one of the Cholito videos that for some reason just exploded and got like 6,000 views and a couple hundred people subscribed, and I have yet to there's nothing I can do that will match that. I don't think. Dave King, you need to use the hashtag on your videos, i.e., chili. Oh well, when I do. Oh, more specifically, probably yeah, spell it right instead of just saying Chilito or Maria de Castro, whatever. Yeah, that's probably right. Um, but yeah, I think it's been a while since I've talked about him, and I think I've seen some people unsubscribe for that reason. But I just said the guy just he's not quite he's too malicious to be a Cyrax. Um, and that's the real problem. I think that it comes right down to it. I think anything I think anything that Cholito does is motivated to benefit Cholito or it's motivated out of malice. Um, I think if anyone out there was unfortunate enough to watch his deleted live streams where he was threatening people and talking about how he was going to beat them up, and you better hope there's cameras if I see you in a dark alley or some other crap like that. At the height of the whole, I can't fight because I have high knee pressure. That whole period, you will see that he is. He's just a vile, vicious human being. I mean, there's just nothing there that. And I wish I could say that it was an act, that I believed it was an act, that he was just playing at being a tough, mean guy. But no, I'm pretty sure we were seeing Chilito as Chilito, and in a good number of those situations. Um, so yeah, uh, let's see. Lots of peeps making comics, etc. So they could find your stuff. You be Dan. Yeah, yeah, they would make shorts out of me, huh? Let's see. You made the best FU chili video I ever saw. Who did Surrender Monkey? I should go check it out. Dave did one? Or Platoon? I'm GR. I'm glad you don't focus on chili all the time. He can be pretty boring and repetitive. Yeah, that's actually. I did a couple of videos. Again, a lot of this is what amuses me is what videos get made of, and I found the whole notion of his complete his ongoing chatter about pigs and pigs pulling you over, and I had this vision of pigs driving police cars, and you should always take the pigs or film the pigs. Well, yeah, because if you see driving pigs, of course you film them so you can prove that you've seen the driving pigs. I did a couple of videos like that, and because I was amused by the whole concept, and then kind of I'm thinking about doing a fourth video, trying to pretending like I'm trying to understand Chilito, but I just don't have another hook. The driving pigs, I think I play that out. Maybe next time I'm going to a meeting and I'm on the freeway and I'm stuck, I'll do it. I don't know. Dave King, you dissing the pink Power Ranger and the Trifold of Justice? Oh, yeah, I am dissing the. Well, am I dissing the pink Power Ranger? Yes, and definitely the Trifold of Justice. Oh, yeah, that was probably one of my early ones. Because yes, that's actually the one time that I sat through one of his videos from beginning to end without having someone else commenting on it to keep my interest, like Irish Demon or a Skeptic or one of those guys. Um, he he was going on about some guy that made a video about him, and that guy got 1,000 views, and so yeah, that's when I made my sarcastic 1,000 views, a couple of those 1,000 views videos, and I never did get my 1,000 views except for the one where I was not even being uh, humorous about supporting Chilito. I was just being out and out. Hey, Chilito got booted off the internet or off YouTube. um, yeah, but my fan mail from him was even more hilarious. Said how I don't get any more than 10 views on any videos other than the ones about Chilito. And then I just looked at my channel and, oh, look, I've got most of them have 30 views and they're above. Wow. Yeah, but more than 10. Jose seems to be going through the same cycle of self-destruction he went through on TikTok. He is on the downward arc right now. Yeah, GR, except it seems that he is trying to do some course adjustments, which it seems like he didn't do on TikTok. Again, I didn't see the TikTok meltdown. I've only seen the secondhand relations of it. Um, but now he's doing the whole "I'm a diet guru" thing. He's got his new scam. At least that's where I think it's headed personally. Oh yeah, and if any of Toledo's friends watch this later on, yeah, I think he's setting up some sort of weight loss scam that he wants to do, or some, I don't know. But yeah, if saying that will get me the promised lawsuit, I stand by my comment. Actually, I stand by any comment. I haven't deleted a single live stream, even the pointless, stupid ones where I'm just goofing around and can't get the tech to work. They're there to watch because I'm not a coward. I say stupid things and they're out there and they stay out there. But then I also don't threaten people either. So yeah, I think he's trying to set up another con. Sue me, please. I want you to. Surrender Monkey, Cholito is dangerous. Yeah, probably. Um, he is a bit of a nut job. There's no question about that. He's, let's see, GR, Cholito is flailing and failing. Yeah. Yeah. Here's actually, I think I've said this in another video. I maybe I didn't. Maybe it was a day I was trying to explain to my partner at work about explaining him to someone that has no idea about any of this YouTube stuff, and it dawned on me that if he wasn't so vile, I actually I felt sorry for him at when I first came across him on Mike's channel, and there's been twinges when he was down in Colombia and he was still obsessing about the people that were critical of him. I Part of me felt sorry for him because, God, if flew to a foreign country to spend time with my relatives, you know, hey, I love you guys. You came by to hang out. We're chatting. I'm sorry, I wouldn't be on YouTube talking with you, and I certainly wouldn't be on YouTube making videos where I could rail about how much I hate you. I would be spending time with the relatives that I probably am only going to be seeing this one time because someone else bought me the plane ticket and I'm in a foreign country and it's been planned for a year for me to go. I felt sorry that he was so obsessed and so unable to look past his ego and his bruised ego and look past people who really don't matter or really shouldn't matter to him, that he was missing out on real opportunities to actually have some real enjoyment and get to know family and new people. But then he went back at his attempting to silence people through threats of lawsuits and threats of violence and just getting his followers to join him in threatening people, and no, any sense of sympathy evaporated again. um, I have no sympathy for that man. um, yeah, he's teaching people how to fast. Chili's Platoon Hard Drive says Chili's not ideological bound to what he says because I don't know that even he fully understands. No, that's the problem. He, sorry to the finished sentence there. He that he doesn't know that he even fully understands what he says, and that's part of the problem. He doesn't understand what he says. Um, he cherry picks things from what not a lawyer, but some of the topics he does talk about. He picks things that he feels play into his argument, and then ignores everything else. Well, and he doesn't understand uh, the purpose of some of the amendments. I almost said 10 Commandments. Um, doesn't understand the Bill of Rights, and again, because he doesn't read it all. He doesn't read it in the context it needs to be read in. He doesn't understand the structure of U.S. law. Just the way he was talking about his lawsuits, and the way he still talks about some of the motions he's filing. Again, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a legal expert, but I know enough about uh, copyrights and trademarks and uh, First Amendment cases, because it's kind of my livelihood, that some of the stuff he said is complete and utter nonsense, which is why I still say, sue me. You know, sue me, you ignorant little midget, please, because um, I could go pro se against whatever he thinks that he could sue me over. I mean, it is so much nonsense and so much crap. Um, he thinks, okay, GR, he thinks that overwhelming someone with unrelated information is the same thing as winning an argument. Yeah, well, see, that's something else. When I see him argue with people, he's not really. I'm trying to remember the video that I saw. Again, it was filtered through, I think, Irish Demon. But when he didn't have an argument or a response, he would just go, uh huh, uh huh, uh huh, and then come back with something that was a non sequitur. So let's see. I am cool with a couple folks that are cool with Chili, but that won't change my negative of him. And you're totally right, GR. He doesn't understand words, so he thinks it confuses others. Yeah. And yeah, I personally don't know that I know anyone that subscribes to what Chili is selling. Um, but if I did, and they were my friends, I'd still be friends. I mean, I have friends that we have little in common politically, for example, and we're still friends. Uh, some of my best friends, in fact, I would have political arguments with, or discussions, not even really arguments. And there's very little agreement. So, yeah, and that's something else that he doesn't understand. If you're not with him, and if you're not, um, well, not nodding your head to everything he says and agreeing, you're against him. You have Chili isn't complicated. It's amusing to watch him think he is. Yeah. Oh, I don't know, PhD, if I may call you PhD. Um, it would be unfair. There is the high knee pressure. Um, that would always be a terrible thing to have to for him to have to overcome. Yeah. Mm. Like yep, actually, PhD said anytime I try to give him a bit of understanding, he immediately reminds me of why he draws my ire. That's exactly where I come from, and why, as I said, I felt sorry for him when he was down in Colombia, and then immediately he reminded me why I shouldn't and why I can't. Um, but I think he's starting to realize that. Oh, that's something else. There's a fellow in the I've been blocked by Cholito de Castro Facebook group. I don't know if any of you are in there or not, but there's a fellow there that suffers so we don't have to. He watches Chilito's videos and transcribes highlights from them. And he most recently posted some of these, and one of the quotes was how Chili feels that he is inundated or overwhelmed, or whatever the word was. Whoa, that was weird. An ice cube just popped in here. Huh. Science. That he is feeling overwhelmed. He claims he's feeling overwhelmed by all these lawsuits that he's running, and he's just going to file one more against someone that's particularly evil, even though other people think he's a good guy. I'm hoping it's me. But that he's going to start moving away from the whole lawsuit thing. Yeah, I think maybe he's realized. Maybe I posted this to the community page. I don't know. Maybe I'm repeating myself. I don't know. I think he's realized that his efforts to silence critics, in fact, all it does is it creates more critics and more people that are disgusted by his behavior and irritated by his behavior. And it's not having the results that he thought it would. He's not looking like he's the big, tough scholar that he thinks he is, especially when he keeps these lawsuits keep falling apart because he's too stupid or lazy to stay on top of the counter filings and the motions, the other, the opposing side, and the timetables that get set by the judges. If there's a reason why attorneys go to school for as long as they do, and why they are worker bees in firms for years before they go out on their own. It's complicated as hell, and they're smarter than most of us, smarter than me. I have no doubt. So yeah, I'm hoping to see what this new lawsuit is. Maybe it will be some, because apparently he's going to be filing it this week, he says. Although I don't know that he can top the whole poopy pants thing. If you haven't seen it, I figured out how to put a link on the community page, and I finally got it up there. It's a snippet with him saying that auditors are welcome to use his content, and he won't do copyright strikes against auditors who use his content, only against nefarious people, who he then goes on to refer to as poopy pants, because he is a constitutional scholar and he is an adult and he wants to, well, I don't know what he was trying to accomplish. He looked like an idiot. But I think it's, God, we're going on 2 hours now almost. And if there's any of you guys out there still awake, I think I am going to wrap this up at this point. Unless there are some other questions or comments that I can address. And it doesn't seem that there is. So, and I only have, one person left out there. I never can figure out how the people count works, to be honest with you, because sometimes it seems like there's more than I'm seeing in the little counter, but I don't know. So, well, GR is still awake. All right, good for you. You truly are an insomniac. And I've only drunk like a tiny bit of my my weirdly colored drink. So I'll be drinking that for a while, but I do think I will call it. Great stream, Stephen. Great chat. Thank you, Surrender Monkey. I appreciate it. GR says it's only 3:30 a.m. It's only 1:30 a.m. Yeah, see, this count of people is way off. If there's still 3 of you here, 4 of you here. So who knows? YouTube is a mystery to me. What can I say? But yeah, I really should call it a night. So again, I appreciate you guys stopping in, and thank you for the questions. I will get with Stan. Dave, I think, was one that suggested the idea, and talk to him about the possibility of sort of an educational kind of thing. And yeah, maybe we'll do this again some other night, a little bit lighthearted and free form. Oh, Jesse shows up. Yeah, just in time. Or just yeah, in time to say goodbye. Welcome, and thank you for dropping in. Maybe next time I'll have the energy to go a little bit later. But for right now, gotta call it. So hi Jesse, bye Jesse. Thank you, Dave, Surrender Monkey, GR, PhD. I appreciate all you guys and your questions. And I will talk to y'all next time. But now, and yeah, actually, if anybody has comments about the OGL situation, feel free to ask questions or make comments down below. Or if you want to tell us about your favorite comic book, especially if it's something that NUELOW Games has published, comment sections are good for that too. All right, and on that note, good night, everybody. And yes, good night even to me if I ever stop talking. Alrighty, so I am going to push the first button, and I'm going to be checking out PhD's channels, definitely, yes. And so push the first button, and I'll push the second button, and we are clear.